بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي ليس لقضائه دافع ولا كصنعه صنع صانع، وهو الجواد الواسع فطر أجناس البدائع وأتقن بحكمته الصنائع، لا تخفى عليه الطلائع ولا تضيع عنده الودائع. ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام وحبيب الملك العلام سيد أنبياء الله محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، سيما بقية الله في الأرضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين، الحجة ابن الحسن فداه أرواح العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عداهم. السلام على الحسين الشهيد المظلوم أسير الكربات وقتيل العبرات، الذي سمحت نفسه بمهجته والذي أطاع الله في سره وعلانيته. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مثل كلمة طيبة كشجرة طيبة أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء، تؤتي أكلها كل حين بإذن ربها، ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس لعلهم يتذكرون. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the love of Lady Fatima al-Zahra, please recite aloud salawat. The arrival of this month is not an opportunity for us to celebrate New Year and to exchange greetings as opposed to everyone else. Because the month of Muharram is the first month of the Hijri calendar. To us, the first day of Muharram marks a new beginning in our lives. It marks the start of an extraordinary season. A season that has the potential to transform our lives and to bring about drastic changes to our lives. It has the potential, brothers and sisters, to catapult us into another realm. We turn into celestial beings if we were able to make the most of this season. Now, in order for us to maximize our benefit from our attendance in these programs, we need to address this vital question. Why do we attend these programs? Why do we relive the saga of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? Why do we commemorate his tragedy? Now, before I delve into this topic, and this is just an introduction for a series of lectures that I'm honored and burdened with the responsibility of giving during these holy nights. Although these gatherings, and it's not just us, as you all know, hundreds of millions of people they gather around the remembrance of Aba Abdullah during these days. 1.6 billion people across the globe observe the day of Ashura as a national day of mourning. People from all walks of life, people from different faiths, people from different religions, people that don't believe in the Prophet of God. And Imam al-Hussein is his successor. They don't believe in his prophethood, and yet they mourn for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. And these majalis, brothers and sisters, they're not preceded by a massive media campaign to encourage people to attend, like other events and religious occasions, like Christmas. Before the arrival of Christmas, you see billboards in the streets. Wherever you go, people are talking about Christmas. You see TV ads. Every clip that you watch on YouTube is interrupted by something about Christmas, so that an artificial atmosphere is created. I know that Christmas is used as a marketing tool, but at the end of the day, there is a massive media campaign that precedes the event. But with Ashura, there's nothing. Corporations don't fund these programs. There is no government funding. And if there is in some parts of the world, in some Middle Eastern countries, maybe some governments, they fund some of these programs. But they only do so to boost their own popularity. So they know that Imam al-Hussein, the love of Imam al-Hussein is overwhelming. So to boost their popularity, let's give money to these hayat, to these majalis, to these people. So it's not government funded. Corporations, the media, they don't talk about it. If anything, they ignore it, they neglect it. And all you receive, just days before the start of Muharram, is perhaps an email, a flyer, telling you about the venue, the timing, when will the program start, when it will end. And yet you see that there is this gravitational pull towards these majalis. People that don't usually attend any program throughout the year, people that are not that religious, they are captivated by Imam al-Hussein. They feel the attraction. This is what pulls them towards Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. You know why? Because these majalis have been in the making for 14 centuries. Allah the Almighty got involved. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He instilled the love of Aba Abdullah in our hearts. He instigated, and he was the one that sowed the love of Aba Abdullah in our hearts. He was the one that ignited this flame within our existence for Imam al-Hussein. Prophets throughout history, they got involved, they contributed to this. Although this seems like a spontaneous thing, but major events happened for this program to be held today. You know how many people throughout history were killed? Their blood was spilled on the ground so that me and you today come to this majlis to receive the message of Aba Abdullah, to listen to the saga of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Both in ancient history and in contemporary history, people were killed just because they mentioned the name of Aba Abdullah. A famous speaker went on the pulpit in the courtyard of the shrine of Imam al-Hussein in Karbala. He mentioned the name of Yazid, and he then cursed Yazid ibn Muawiyah during the Ottoman Empire. They were quick to summon this scholar, this speaker. and the Ottoman Empire ordered that this man was to be lashed 1,000 times. He was lucky not to die for mentioning the name of Yazid. People in Qom, I'm not talking about ancient times, I'm talking about 60, 70 years ago during Rida Shah's time in Iran, in the holy city of Qom, they couldn't hold these majalis. So on the eve of Ashura, just one night, and for a few minutes, they would go in the basement, very quietly and silently they mourn Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, because the place was filled with informants that would tell the authorities about the majlis, and they raid the house of the person that is commemorating the tragedy of Abu Abdullah, and then they would execute that person. People couldn't mention the name of Hussein. His name was banned. His remembrance was outlawed throughout history. So that, brothers and sisters, we appreciate these majalis. People were killed so that we come today and listen to the saga of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam al-Hussein himself created this platform. Through his blood, he was killed so that this platform is established so that he could get his message across. And I'll mention this between two brackets. This pulpit does not belong to me. This pulpit does not belong to my family or my tribe. This is why I have no right to mention my own opinions and to advance my own agenda on this pulpit. This pulpit is reserved solely for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And I can only convey his message to you, brothers and sisters. And I'm not here to entertain you. I am not here to say things that would please you. I am here to impart to you the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and I ask God to help me, to guide me, to give me the help and the support to shoulder this burden and be able to convey the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So why do we attend these majalis? This is a question that we need to ask ourselves all the time. Do we come here to listen to the story, the saga of Abu Abdullah, and then go back home to watch TV or to preoccupy ourselves with video games? Is that it? No. Why no? Because you all know the story. You've heard the story over and over again. We all know that Imam al-Hussein arrived to Karbala on the second day of Muharram. And they imposed a siege on the Imam. A battalion led by a commander called Al-Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi was the first person to confront the Imam. The Imam said, "Allow me to proceed to Kufa." He said, "I can't." "Allow me to go back to Medina." He said, "I can't." A siege was imposed on the Imam, but the Imam still had access to the river, to the Euphrates. Until the 9th of Muharram, the Imam lost access to the river. A total siege was imposed on the Imam. He had no food, him, his children, his companions, until the day of Ashura, when the tragedy took place. The Imam was brutally killed. Him, his companions, his children, and then after his death, they decapitated him. Then they raided the tents, they looted all the possessions of the woman, they killed some of the children, then they paraded the woman and the children in 40 cities. You all know the story of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And usually when you listen to a story once, twice, thrice, the story becomes irrelevant. You know what's going to happen. But with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, it's different. The passage of time makes us more zealous towards the story. Makes people interact and engage with Imam al-Hussein even more. Our zeal grows exponentially, even though the passage of time turns everything into ruins. Civilizations, the Incas, the Mayas that were once, they had a civilization in this land. They perished, and now the majority of the people of the world don't even know that they existed. All that remains from them is a line in history books, and only people that are interested in history would go and read about them. So the passage of time ruins everything, demolishes everything. You wouldn't read a newspaper that was printed 2 weeks ago. You wouldn't watch a news report that talks about events that happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, time plays a different role. The passage of time adds to the glow of the events, as if the tragedy took place this year, as if the tragedy is about to take place in about 7 days' time. So why do we come here? Do we just want to listen to the story over and over again? No. Imam al-Hussein is not in need of spectators to watch, hear, listen, and don't do anything. Brothers and sisters, the reason why we attend these majalises, the reason why we come here to listen to the story of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, is because we want to explore our options. We want to take calculated steps and make choices that will have everlasting impact, positive impact on our lives. Because when you look at Karbala, you see this colorful picture of people from different backgrounds, different mindsets, that took different decisions, made different decisions, and took different routes and pursued different paths. We study their lives, and then we study the outcome, how they reaped the consequences of their own decisions and their own choices. You have two camps. Ashura represents the ultimate struggle between all the forces out there. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he teaches us everything that we need to know about life. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam introduces us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he teaches us how to build a relationship with God. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam unmasked the reality of this world. And he taught us what this life represents. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam taught us the real meaning of Tawheed. This is why if we were able to address this question correctly, why do we attend these majalis, we would be able to unravel life's most significant and important mystery, the meaning of life. This is tightly knitted and intertwined with the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. He taught us who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And he demonstrated, he gave us a roadmap that he drew with his own blood, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps his promises. Imam al-Hussein was killed. Imam al-Hussein was decapitated. But look at what happened to his enemies, even though his enemies back then, they defeated Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam al-Sadiq says that the struggle between us and the Umayyads is not a struggle between two tribes. It's not Bani Hashim against Bani Umayyah. And this is how the Umayyads viewed this schism, this struggle between them and the Hashemites, the Imam said that it's ultimately between truth and falsehood. Because the Umayyads were saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot intervene. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot interfere in the affairs of the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot keep His promises. But we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is truthful. قُلْنَا صَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَقَالُوا كَذِبَ اللَّهُ. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, through his blood, demonstrated, exemplified how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps His promises. And if this becomes self-evident through Ashura, then we will believe in all of God's promises pertaining to the hereafter, pertaining to the grave, pertaining to the inferno, pertaining to paradise. All these things are God's promises. So if Imam al-Hussein proved that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, and it was him that defeated his enemies and toppled the Umayyads and made Imam al-Hussein victorious over his enemies. So this season is about making the right choices in accordance to what happened on the day of Ashura. You should ask yourself this question: if I was in their shoes, how would I have acted? If I am confronted, if an opportunity presents itself to me, how should I act? We should invoke Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam all the time. Whenever you're confronted, whenever you reach a crossroad in life, think that if Imam al-Hussein was in my position, how would he acted? Ask yourself this question: how do I live a Husseini-centered life? This is the question that you need to ask yourself in light of the outcome and the results of the actions of the enemies, the opponents and the proponents of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. His companions, what they did, and his enemies and what they did. In light of the outcome of their actions, you make a decision as well, where you stand. This is why the story of Imam al-Hussein is relevant, because it concerns me. Brothers and sisters, the ark of salvation of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam has reached our shores. And Imam al-Hussein is inviting all of us to board the ark of salvation. This is why the Prophet famously said, "Inna al-Hussein misbahu hudan." He is the lantern of guidance. You utilize this light, this lantern, to navigate your way in life. He will illuminate the path for you. And this is why we are encouraged to pray on the soil of Karbala every single day, 5 times. Why? Because we need to invoke Imam al-Hussein all the time. We are encouraged to recite the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein every single day, because we need Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Through Imam al-Hussein, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us. On his way to the holy city of Kufa, the Imam was told, he camped in a place called Qasr ibn Muqatil, near a village perhaps. He was told that Ubaydullah ibn al-Hurr al-Ju'fi, who was supposed to be a lover of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, a lover of Imam Ali, he was a commander in his army. He is also in that area. So the Imam himself, he came out of his tent to go and visit and meet with Ubaydullah ibn al-Hurr al-Ju'fi. Even though the Imam had dignity, the ruler of the time, Muawiyah, would come to Medina, the Imam wouldn't bother to go and visit him. He wouldn't visit the ruler, the tyrant. He had no respect to the rulers of the time. And yet he is so keen, he is so concerned about the fate of ordinary people. He wants to salvage them. He wants to save them. And this is the Imam's attitude towards all of us. Al-Imam kal-ab al-shafiq. Imam Rida alayhi salam says that the Imam's attitude towards the people is like the attitude of a father towards his son or daughter. Usually, our parents are concerned about our well-being, about our welfare. The Imam is more concerned about our well-being and our welfare than our parents. So the Imam himself would leave his tent to go and meet with Ubaydullah ibn al-Hurr al-Juhfi. He goes to his tent. He says, Salamu alaykum to him. Then he says to him that I came to invite you to join my ranks, to join my camp. He was brutally honest with the Imam. He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, even though he knew who Imam al-Hussein was. He was a commander in the army of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was a so-called Shia, quote unquote. So he says to the Imam, Ya ibn Rasulullah, the only reason why I left the city of Kufa is because I didn't want to meet with you. Because I didn't want to get involved in the struggle between you and the Umayyads. I know that you're the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I harbor love for you, but I'm not willing to pay the price of my love for you. And this is one of the problems that we all face. We have love for Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and we claim that we follow the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. But when it comes to paying the price, demonstrating your resolve and your real love for the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, some people are not willing to pay the price. Sometimes people sell their religion for no reason, or in exchange for something worthless. For example, for you to secure a position in a company, they tell you that this should come at the expense of your religion. You have to make some concessions. Some people don't hesitate. They are securing a job in a fancy company. They couldn't care less. Or, for example, some women are told, if you want to enter that field, you have to take off your hijab, for example. It might sound appealing, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing your faith, testing your iman, testing your loyalty. One of our scholars used to say that my faith is worth $20,000. They said to him, Maulana, what do you mean $20,000? He said, one day I was approached by a group of people. They told me to come and testify against someone in the court. I said, but I wasn't there to witness what happened between you and your opponent. They said, Maulana, but it happened. We want you to give false testimony. And usually when things like that happen, you try to justify, look for loopholes, justifications. So he said, how can I do that? I wasn't there to witness the incident. They said, Maulana, we will give you $20,000 just to give a false testimony. $20,000. He said, I reject it. I said, no. But I realized that they were willing to pay $20,000 to take away my faith, take away my iman. So this is how much my iman is worth. But I don't know if they offer more money, whether I will sell my iman or not. I know that it's worth currently in the market $20,000. So the Imam comes to Ubaydullah ibn al-Hurr al-Juhfi. He himself invites him personally to join his camp. And the guy says, I'm not willing to pay the price. And brothers and sisters, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam invites each and every one of us. Personal invitation to join his camp. The door is still open. Then he says to the Imam, Ibn Rasulullah, you know what I'm willing to do? I am willing to give you my sword. My sword is very expensive. It's worth 1,000 dinars, which was a lot of money back then. And I am willing to give you my Arabian horse. It's worth 1,000 dinars. You know what the Imam's response was? He said to him, إِن بَخِلْتَ عَلَيْنَا بِنَفْسِكَ فَلَا حَاجَةَ لَنَا بِمَالِكَ. If you're not willing to commit, if you don't have devotion, if you don't have loyalty, then I don't need your money. What I need is your loyalty. I want your heart to be with my heart. وَقَلْبِي لِقَلْبِكُمْ سِلْمٌ. That's what I need from you. This is why, brothers and sisters, we need to dedicate our life for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Our time, our wealth, our life, our iman. If it doesn't clash with attending the majalis, you could work, you could go to school. But before you come to the majalis, if you're too tired, then take some rest, sleep for an hour or so, then come to the majalis, so that the message of Imam al-Hussein enters inside your heart, so that your heart is receptive for the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. This is not just a cultural tradition that we're observing. We are receiving the message of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. People vary when it comes to how much dedication and loyalty they have for the master of the youth of paradise. Some people, all they do is just attend the majalis. Alhamdulillah. This is better than not attending the majalis, because for the people that don't attend the majalis, if they don't have an excuse, Imam al-Hussein is our identity. That means that they've severed their link with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And Imam al-Hussein to us is everything. So some people just attend the majalis. Just come to listen to the story and then go home. Some people actively participate. Some people are part of the organizing group of the majalis. And the more time you dedicate, the more money you dedicate, Fatima al-Zahra will be the one that will reward you. Why is it that we are encouraged to shed tears for the Mawla, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? Because for these tears to be produced, a lot of chemical reactions need to take place internally. The flesh, the soul, all these different elements need to come together for one drop of tear to be produced. This is why the hadith says, إِنَّ الْحُسَيْنِ, Imam al-Hussein himself, he knows the people that cry for him. He looks at them and he prays for them. Imam Sadiq says so. He prays for them and he asks his father, Amir al-Mu'mineen, to pray for the person that cries for him. Imagine, when, for example, you have an exam, you have something important that you need someone's prayer. You ask your parents to pray for you. The hadith says that if your father prays for you, his prayer will go directly to the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing could block the prayer of a father, of a parent. And the prayer will be answered, whether the prayer is against the son or daughter or in his favor. Now imagine if Imam al-Hussein himself is praying for you. Because when you cry, you are engaging with the story of Imam al-Hussein on a personal level. And also giving money for the cause of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Although money is worthless in general. The hadith says that since the creation of this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything in this world, the entire world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never looked at this world even once since the creation of this universe. Yet, when we say it's good to contribute for a cause that is related to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. We say this because you worked hard, you labored, you left your comfort zone, you left your family and children, and there was a lot of sweat involved to earn money. When you give this money to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, or a cause related to the Mawla, you're giving a part of yourself, a part of your life, a part of your time is given to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Then the Imam says to Ubaidullah, when he refused to join the camp of Imam al-Hussein, he says to him, look, if you don't want to join me, then make sure you run away. Run away from me. He said, why? He said, because if you hear my plea, the Imam made the plea on the day of Ashura, and not respond, not heed, not come to my support, not lend your support, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will throw you head first into the inferno. Because you can't listen to what Imam al-Hussein said on that day when he made that plea, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا. And he is God's proof on earth, he is God's representative on earth, and not respond, and not heed, and not lend your support. So the guy left. But brothers and sisters, his plea reached us. You all heard that the Imam was brutally killed. You all heard what the Imam said on that day. You can't be indifferent to the plea of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and go back to your routine and to your old self and sin and be totally indifferent towards the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. This is dangerous. One man, his name was Al-Dhahhak ibn Abdullah. He joined the camp of Imam al-Hussein. He was with the Imam all the way from Mecca to Karbala. He witnessed everything. But he made a pact with the Imam. He said to him, Ibn Rasulullah, I will support you. But the extent of my support will be until the time that I realize if I stay with you, I will get killed. I don't want to get killed. I give my support to you. I'll try to defend you. But I don't want to get killed with you. The Imam agreed. He was with the Imam on the eve of Ashura, on the day of Ashura. And he was one of the people that reported some of the incidents that took place on the day of Ashura. Until the Imam fell. The Imam fell and his body was pierced with arrows and spears. And he was struck with swords. He comes to the Imam after the martyrdom of his companions, his children, everyone. He comes to the Imam, he says to him, Ibn Rasulullah, even if I stay with you, you'll get killed. I can't defend you. Would you give me permission to run away? The Imam agreed. You can go. He was hiding his horse in one of the tents in the camp of Imam al-Hussein. He goes on the back of his horse and he flees the scene. The army of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad and Umar ibn Sa'd, they tried to chase him and arrest him, but he managed to run away. History tells us that this man lost his sanity later on because he witnessed this tragedy. He saw the Imam falling in that pit when the Imam was heavily wounded, and yet he failed to support the Imam. And brothers and sisters, even though he was there, he saw everything, but we heard about these incidents, and we can't be indifferent to the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, sallallahu alayka ya ibna Rasulullah. As-salamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين برمشام میرسد هر لحظه بوی کربلا. You know, these occasions, they give us proximity and nearness to the Mawla, Abi Abdullah. I know people that wait for one whole year to witness Muharram and to witness Ashura. برمشام میرسد هر لحظه بوی کربلا. بر دلم ترسم بماند آرزوی کربلا. تشنه آب فراتم ای اجل مهلت بده. We have a hadith that it's mustahab when a newborn is born, you place the soil of Karbala, khak shifa, in the roof of the mouth of the child, so that the first thing that the child consumes is khak shifa, the soil of Karbala, so that it is mixed with his flesh, with his blood. And it's also mustahab to give the newborn from the water of the Euphrates. تشنه آب فراتم ای اجل مهلت بده تا بگیرم در بغل قبر شهید کربلا. کربلا 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 کربلا. ای گل زهرا حسین ای شهریار نه فلک، ذکر ما هر دم شده یا لیتنا کنا معک. ذکر ما یا ابا عبدالله یا غریب الطفوف صبری غریب. ذکر ما هر دم شده یا لیتنا کنا معک. ابو الحسن علی ابن موسی الرضا فرمودن یا ابن شبیب ان کنت باکیا لشیء، اگر میخوای برای یک چیزی گریه کنی برای جدم ابا عبدالله گریه کن. چرا؟ حضرت فرمودن فانه ذبح کما یذبح الکبش. میدونی چطور جدم ابا عبدالله را کشتن؟ میدونی چطور سر بریدن؟ این مصیبت معمولا باید روز عاشورا خونده بشه، اما چون که آقا ابوالحسن روز اول محرم اینو به ابن شبیب فرمودن، من میگم. گفتن آقا همون جوری که یک گوسفندی رو ذبح میکنن، جدم ابا عبدالله را سر بریدن. آقا میدونید کی تعجب کرد؟ ملائکه آسمون ها تعجب کردن. غریبا ارا یا غریب الطفوف. آخه این سبط رسول الله، این سید شباب اهل الجنه است. آقا من 3 جهت که شاید شباهت باشه بین جوری که امام حسین رو کشتن و جوری که یه گوسفندی را سر میبرن من ذکر میکنم. یه جهاتی هست که فقط روز عاشورا میشه ذکر کرد. آقا اولا این که وقتی که یه گوسفندی را سر میبرن هیچ کی اعتراض نمیکنه، اما اگر یک کسی بیاد میخواد مثلا سر یک گربه را ببره، 100 نفر میان اعتراض میکنن، اما گوسفند میگن مهم نیست، اصلا گوسفند باید ذبح بشه. حضرت زینب آمدن میدان، دیدن همه دارن نگاه میکنن، تماشا میکنن، گفتن اما فیکم مسلم، آیا مسلمونی نیست که دارید میبینید این سبط رسول الله، هذا سید شباب اهل الجنه، هذا عزیز فاطمه. فرمودند یوم علی صدر المصطفى، روزی بر دوش پیغمبر بودی، یک روز روی سینه رسول الله بودی، اما الان روی خاک خوابیدی. بعد نگاه کردن به عمر بن سعد، گفتن ویلک یا عمر بن سعد ایقتل ابو عبدالله و انت تنظر الیه. اینجوری دارن ابو عبدالله میکشن، تو فقط داری تماشا میکنی. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والنصر، واجعل فرجنا مع فرجه يا كريم يا الله. اشف به مرضانا، استر به عيوبنا، اغفر به ذنوبنا، ارحم به موتانا وموتى المؤمنين والمؤمنات. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.